Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to the Sweetwater Minute. Today I'm joined by Jim Cooper, Director of Marketing for MOTU. Thanks for being here, Jim.
My pleasure, Mitch.
Appreciate it. And we actually go back a long ways. We probably met in somewhere around the early 90s when I started here at Sweetwater in 92, somewhere around
yeah, it's been
there.
a long time.
Yeah, it's been great though.
Yeah, it has.
Right.
It's a good run.
So today you're here at Sweetwater. You're introducing a brand new product.
That's right.
The Audio Express interface.
That's right.
Why don't you tell us what this interface is all about?
All right, well, this is a hybrid FireWire USB audio interface for Mac and Windows. It's 6 inputs, 6 outputs, so 6 by 6. It's housed in our typical MOTU, very rugged metal half-rack chassis. It can be used desktop, just like you see here, or you can put rack brackets on it and mount it in a rack if you need to. Really, the main story with this interface is that it's a personal studio interface. It's got 6 inputs for your mic, your guitar, your keyboard, connect a couple of powered speakers. There's one knob for each input, and then adjust the volume of the main outs, and you're ready to go. Basically, you just plug stuff in, get the levels right, it does mixing, and then you can take stuff into the computer. It's really easy to use, it does mixing, it has all the inputs you need for a personal studio scale recording and mixing, and it's really studio-grade audio quality. It's exceptionally good audio quality. And the list price is $449, and you can get it here at Sweetwater for $395.
It's an amazing value because this does a lot. I mean, as you mentioned, it'll work in a lot of different situations, but you mentioned the mixing, but there are actually 4 mixes in this, correct?
That's right. In fact, out of the box, it's meant to be simple in that you just plug the inputs in, adjust the main out volume, but there are 4 separate mixes. There's one separate mix for each pair of outputs. So, for example, you could make a very balanced mix going to the main outs for, say, the PA system at the venue you're performing at, but maybe you have a stage wedge in front of you and you could do maybe a guitar-only mix coming out of the line outs going to the stage wedge. And then you could even have a separate 3rd mix going to SPDIF and even a 4th mix going to the headphone outs if you're using headphones. So you can basically control each mix right from the front panel. You just push the mix button to cycle through them and then adjust the levels there. We also have the QMix software that you can run on the Mac or the PC, which is on-screen mixing, of course. And it also has a lot of other advanced features, like there's an instrument tuner in there. It's a very accurate instrument tuner. It goes to like 1/100th of a cent. If you run sine waves through it, you'll see it's very accurate. And there's a whole suite of audio analysis tools, spectrogram, oscilloscope, FFT. So there's a lot of deep engineering in this box, while at the same time it's, for the most common use, meant to be really easy to use.
Right. Right. Now you mentioned the headphones out. You kind of label this as a 6 by 6 interface, but actually the headphones could be addressed separately. So you could do a separate headphone mix for your talent in the studio and still have your main mix going to your monitors if you want to.
Exactly. And the phones can either mirror another pair of outputs or they can be their own independent pair. So it's really a 6 by 8. The front panel volume, if you push it, you can control main out volume, or if you push it again, now you're controlling both main outs and headphone outs simultaneously. So there's a lot of flexibility right there.
Right. You guys really thought that through. Right. Now, you said this is a hybrid interface. Tell us a little bit more what that means for somebody who's using this.
So hybrid connectivity is really important. MOTU really has the only line of audio interfaces with hybrid connectivity. And this is basically the inclusion of both a USB 2 and a FireWire jack on the rear panel. So regardless of whether you need to connect to your desktop or your laptop with USB or FireWire, this interface has you covered. If you're connecting via FireWire, this is a Type A port. It's FireWire 400, but it goes to any type of FireWire port on the computer that you may have. You just need the right cable. And this is bus powered with a 6-pin or a 9-pin FireWire cable. So this unit will run bus powered on FireWire. Right. With USB 2 itself doesn't supply enough power for the 48-volt phantom power for both mic inputs. And so we do have a separate power supply for using it when you're connected via USB 2, and that's also obviously for standalone use when there's no computer connected at all.
Right, and that comes with the interface when you purchase it.
Yeah, the power supply and the cables come with the interface. And the other important thing to note about the hybrid connectivity is that USB 2 is also compatible with USB 3. So, you know, there's a lot of connectivity formats out there swirling around right now, but you know, with a MOTU interface, with the hybrid connectivity, you'll always be able to plug it in and get the really low latency and high bandwidth performance you need for pro audio.
Right. Right. Now, earlier we were listening to this box, you were playing back some tracks through it, and it sounds incredible. But the other thing that's really impressive about this is how good the preamps sound. We had a guitar mic'd up, and we were checking out some different tones through it and listening back through Digital Performer that we were using to record. I was very impressed with the sound quality. Where do these preamps come from?
Well, these preamps are the same preamps as our very, very popular and successful ultralight hybrid interface. They're definitely studio grade, and they're meant to be very clean, very transparent, very neutral. We're not talking about coloration here, we're just talking about a really nice clean sound. And then you do your coloration with either the amps that you're bringing in, or with EQ, or maybe effects processing in the computer after the fact. This is really meant to be your bread and butter, get the signal in as clean and transparent as possible type of preamp.
Right. Now, MOTU, of course, makes Digital Performer for years one of the leading DAWs and sequencers, but this interface is compatible with any DAW you might be using on Mac or Windows.
Exactly. We've got across-the-board compatibility on both Mac OS X and Windows 7 and Vista. And we've got 64-bit compatibility on all the platforms, and all this included software is also cross-platform as well. So you can do the on-screen mixing, Mac or PC, and there's also an app called the SMPTE console. This box does do SMPTE synchronization, so you can put in timecode, LTC, into any analog input, and then it will read that timecode and generate MIDI timecode, which you can then use to slave apps like Digital Performer and Pro Tools and other DAWs to that timecode. So a lot of deep engineering in this thing.
It's amazing, amazing how much you packed in there, and especially for the price. What an amazing value for a super high quality unit.
We think so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Jim, thanks for coming in today.
Mitch,
Appreciate
my pleasure.
your time.
Thank you.
I'm Mitch Gallagher. Thanks for joining me for the Sweetwater Minute.